All right. What's up? What's up? What's up? Coach Bruce in the studio talking today about ADHD bingo. So I was doing some research today and I came across this trend that is um, it's trending on Google. It's ADHD bingo. I think that ADHD in itself can be hilarious at times, and I think that we should not take ourselves too seriously whenever possible. So the videos I saw about ADHD bingo were like they're all like in good fun. So I decided like I wanted to use that as a topic to talk coaching on. So basically, what I'm going to do is I got my ADHD bingo card. Boop. Let's see if we can actually make that visible. There you go. You can see it in the reflection. Bingo. Anyways, um, I could have shared my screen, but why would I do that? It's my screen. Um, but I think to what we're going to do is, you can go through either 5 or 4 topics with a free space, and that will be how I will go through the next like until well, I'll do that until after Christmas, and then I'll pick something else to do for the last few days before I end the series of 30 days to make my business sustainable. Just for anybody who's been following along on that aspect, it has been really exciting to get the support I've gotten so far. Um, as far as the business being sustainable at this point, it is looking great long term, but making enough money by next month as it kind of needs to be looking pretty tight. Um, my wife just got a new like remote position doing some accounting, and I was like, great, I have it's going to be sustainable because I'll have an extra month or two. Well, the ADHD that miss that missing communication because we're both ADHD, where we try not to over explain things and then sometimes things get missed in communication. That happened. So I told her that I was going to be trying to start the process of being profitable at the end of 30 days. So I was like, I'll be making some money. I'm not going to be making all the money. And then in the next month, I'll be getting closer. She was saying that I needed to be like pretty much full on running and gutting in the next the next 2 months from the beginning of the 30 days. So I never, I'm not gonna say I never had a chance, but it's gonna be tight. And there's a couple opportunities coming up that I'm gonna be able to do and also continue working in my business. So I will have a way to balance things and keep doing my business, keep being able to coach people and nurturing that process because I love it. I'm passionate about it. I want to help people that way, but also be able to provide some stability for my family in the interim. So that's exciting. It's still not making tens of thousands of dollars a month doing what I love, but I don't even know if that's the goal. I just want to be able to be sustainable and take care of my family and also like make the world a better place than whenever I came into it. So that's the goal there. So ADHD bingo. Let's start with can't function until done with hyperfixation. um, Firstly, let's talk about how I am with these things. Um, like I've talked about before, I tend to use my hyperfixation on like bettering some skill set and like making myself better at something. That's what excites me. That's what I get hyper fixated on. So it's a lot easier for me to excuse my hyperfixation because I'm doing something good for me and for our family generally. Because me being a more well-rounded business person or a an individual who understands this thing or that thing better is generally in the overall better intention for our family. It's part of the vision for me to be a leader in the family, and I find it as one of my highest priorities to show that like you're never too old to learn. There is no one path to education, but you should always be growing. And so like that's how I tend to lean into that. But there are times whenever like if I've been at my computer for like a long day learning something, that is important, and I come out of the bedroom and I come out, to hang out with the family, and I get, stuck in a doom scroll of just like, oh, I'm so exhausted, let me get on my phone for a little bit. And then I get into watching, some reels, and I'm scrolling. It is very like I'm not above getting stuck in that doom scrolling and not being able to come out of it and pay attention to my family until I give myself some sort of, wrap it up warning. Like, okay, you've been doing this for an hour. Like, people are talking to you. Like, 5 more reels. You got to get out of this. And it used to be like, 20 more reels, or like it wasn't even a number. It was like just 30 more minutes, or it was some long process, or there was no boundary at all. It's just like, you know, they're fine. Like they don't need to talk to me. And that was, a mixture of being um like having low self-esteem and feeling like they didn't really want me to be part of the conversation that bad, and also being avoidant to like the responsibility of being a father. um and that's something that's tough to look at in retrospect, is like I love being a dad, but at times even whenever I haven't done it all day, it can still be a lot. Like, my wife takes a huge amount of the responsibility of communicating with our children, because, I work all day and I'm generally at a computer doing stuff, and she is out in the house taking care of business out there, and the kids are out there. Like, it's not that they're not allowed to come back here and ask me questions. It's just, object permanence. Like, they know they have a dad, but it just doesn't exist during the day whenever they have questions because they don't see me. I do like I now am committed to homeschooling with the kids 3 days a week. So I come out in the mornings of those days. We do homeschool for a few hours, then I come back to the office and work. And the other days I wake up and come out, get some coffee, maybe eat breakfast, and get straight to work. But it is it is still definitely something I have to be aware of, is not getting hyper focused on things that are not part of my regimen. Like, I've got to, like, the work I'm trying to do, like building a business, you have to work on it. Like, that's something that you have to tend to. My homeschool days, I have to homeschool. It's something that I have to tend to. Like, those are the main things I have to do. Then on Wednesdays, I put out, or I have to edit my podcast. That's something I have to do. And there are like hyper focusing moments on in that, but those are towards a purpose. And if it's not towards a purpose, I can't justify shutting everybody else out whenever there's so much else I need to do, or I need to be with my family. Like, if I'm not focused, I need to be with my family. So that's how I personally handle it. Is that I just I once again I try to use that hyper focus as a tool to help me get shit done. And whenever the shit's done, like, I try to wrap it up by, generally it would be around 6, but I've been doing these lives at 6, and I try to wrap it up, get my videos out, send them to my iPad so I can go out to the family and post them from out there. It's a process of trying to sometimes intertwine the work with being involved with the family. It's not always easy. I'll be excited to get a little, an hour back each day from doing these live streams, which I think I'm going to continue doing some live streams. I'll probably do like 5 o'clock once a week or something, to, because I like doing it. I think that people have enjoyed it. Not like a huge amount of people, but enough people to where I've actually gotten some positive feedback, and I want to continue doing it. Um, let's jump on. So for anybody else, if I was coaching them, I would once again try to guide them to actively engage in their hyperfixation on things that are helpful. And I'm not going to pretend like you can always control that, but when you're getting hyper fixated on things that are actually helpful, it becomes more enjoyable to do that because you don't have like the shame cycle afterwards. You don't have the guilt factor. It's like I did something good for myself and I went all in on it. I went in super hard. Like that to me is like that's a boon, not a bust. So let's see. This next bingo is they probably hate everything about me. I should distance myself. I don't feel this anymore. Like this is not something I jive with anymore. This was all I felt, you know, three years ago. For the 10 years previous to that, is like they probably hate me. They probably hate everything about me. That's what it says. And it was a long battle of, like I've talked about many times before, of masking and diluting who I am to try to fit the situation, trying to be a square peg shoved into a round hole, um, trying to avoid that feeling of everybody hating me. And it just increased. It just, built up and built up because I never could be anybody but who I am. And everything else just read as fake. So not only did I not win the affection of those people I was trying to convince, they liked me even less because I was just this weird fake person. And now, like I see the power in just being myself and letting people think what they want. Because generally, anybody who is thinking anything that's not positive about you, or especially actively negative about you, because you're being yourself, can go fuck themselves. They can go right along and fuck right the fuck off, because you are perfect just how you are. Like you may need growth in areas, but that doesn't mean that you need to change. Like the person you are is good enough to be just as you are. You deserve to exist as you are. And anybody who tells you any different can catch an elbow from the top rope. Anyways, you're good enough. There's my free space. Boom, stamp it. Free space. Too many hobbies, not enough free space. On to my next square. Too many hobbies, not enough mastery. Um, I mean, that like to me, that's a mindset problem. Like you can look at the fact that you've learned a bunch of cool stuff and you've gotten proficient at least and say that's a bad thing, or you can say like I've learned a bunch of cool shit that I enjoy doing whenever I feel like doing it. What are you going to spend your life doing anyways? Like a bunch of stuff that you don't enjoy. If you enjoyed it when you learned it and you enjoyed it while you did it, it was an enjoyable experience. And if you want to enjoy that experience again at some point, you've probably got all the shit, stocked up anyways. Don't become a hoarder if you can. If you can avoid that, try to. Um, what I would say is try not to go all in on the purchase of every cool tool that comes with the hobby, because then that gets, it's the money racks up, the space it racks up, the amount of time it racks up. So just, like I try to give myself some sort of like threshold. It's like if I stick at something for 2 or 3 months with like the basics of whatever, like whenever it was drawing, like I was doing a lot of drawing, and like I had a basic graphite set. I didn't have any chalks yet. I didn't have any pastels. Like I got a marker set from Amazon, and it was like, okay, this is good enough. And as I grew and got better, I started asking for more stuff. 3 months, 6 months later, whenever I'd been doing it for a while. Now, did I eventually outpace myself and get more stuff than I was able to get good at? Yes, but I still didn't get that much more stuff than I was using. So, and I still love drawing. It's just right now I'm in a time. I don't have to make my excuses to you. I love drawing, and I'll draw whenever I have time, and I've got the stuff to draw whenever I want to do it. Um, and that's okay. Like it's all right to take something on and realize that you don't love it anymore. I used to play golf every Monday, like every week. I loved it. I didn't stop because I stopped loving it. I stopped because I messed my back up, but I still have golf clubs. And whenever like things are different, I might want to do that again because it was fun. I enjoyed it. I don't need to feel bad about that. Just what's too many hobbies? What is it? What's the right number of hobbies? Who gets to decide that? Who is the hobby police? Like, forget them. Learn the stuff you want to learn, enjoy the stuff you want to enjoy, and be present in the moment. Don't worry about what you did do that you're not doing now, as long as you're growing towards the person that you want to be. That's what's important. It's not the number of hobbies. It's like, is this promoting my growth as the kind of person I want to be? Like, I want to be a creative person. Like, I want to be the kind of person who like creates things. Right now I'm creating a podcast, I'm creating live streams, I'm creating a business. I'm like, that's what's important to me. So sometimes I want to create drawings, sometimes I want to create videos, whatever. I want to create shit. So if you are doing something that doesn't last forever, but it helps you get to the place where you're a better version of yourself, there is no problem. It is a manufactured obstacle. Let it go. All right. To finish the bingo, where did I put that planner? This is one like I'm not a planner person. Like I use my Outlook calendar religiously. That's it. Like I don't like physical write down planners. I know I'm not going to use them. I've tried it like once or twice. My wife is a huge planner. She's got all kinds of planners, tons of planners. To me, it feels like more of a hindrance than a help because then she's like, wait, where is that planner? Or which planner did I put that in? And I'm not like, she is not, my wife has not hired me as a coach. So I'm not here to tell her how to live her life. But for me, I prefer to just use the one digital calendar and stick with that. The thing that is really important here is not to pass judgment on using a planner or not. It's that whole, where did I put anything? Like this is like it's an ADHD thing that if you've never been victim of the magical disappearance of an item you just sat down, then you will never understand. It's just it happens. Like this is something that I can't coach anybody out of. Sometimes you put something down in a place and you know that's where you put it, and it's not there when you go to look again. Like I can't tell you how to fix that. But the things that are important to me, they have locations that they all go whenever the day is done. Like whenever I leave the house, I pick my keys up off of the octopus that hangs by the front door, and that's like my keys go in my pocket. I drive as soon as I come back, as soon as I walk in the door, I hang up my keys in the octopus. This is not something that happened immediately. It took me many years of practice to make sure that I did that every time, because every time I kept my keys in my pocket just through the living room, they were lost within 10 minutes. I have no idea where my keys are. So it is like if I notice I walk through the sunroom without putting my keys up, I immediately turn around and go do it. Like I force myself to stick to this habit because I've spent hours looking for no, I've spent months looking for my keys. Like I used to be a daily thing where I'd spend 45 minutes before I was supposed to be at work and I was late every day because I was trying to find my keys. So whenever you're not using it, I suggest for pretty much anything that is important your uh, the efficient running of your life on a day-to-day basis, it has a place. That place does not move. For example, my iPad charger does not move. My wife is like, hey, can I borrow your iPad charger? And I was like, sure, come plug it in the bedroom because it stays next to the bed. The reason why hers disappeared because it does not stay in the same place. And I'm not even saying that she lost it, it disappeared. It's just gone. She got a new one, but that one was just gone. And that's what happens whenever stuff moves around. So if I've got something that I need to know where it is, I put it in the one place and that's where it stays. And if it's inconvenient for me to have to use it in that place, sorry. It's much more inconvenient for me to lose shit. So I would much rather just come in here and plug it in, or live without my iPad for an hour while it charges. But at the end of every night, I charge my iPad because I know where it is. It's right by the bed. Which there's a whole health conversation about oh, not mag electronic waves or whatever. But honestly, I would rather just get them than lose my stuff. Same with my phone charger is actually by the computer. It stays there. That's who I am. I put my stuff that I use regularly. It has a place, and like it has helped me so much to just have that place where, hey, I need my headphones. They're hanging up by the couch on the the hook of the. It's like a coat hook, but it's not really. So like that's where the headphones are going to be, not these ones, my wireless ones, because that would be silly to have these ones that are connected to my computer hung up in the living room. Silly ridiculous. Don't judge me. I do what I want. Um. Anyways, so that's a bingo for today. I have reached my ADHD bingo. I've got the same one viewer in Twitch, and like I beg you, just say something. Say anything. Like, do I need to start like exposing skin to get you to comment? Eh, I would love to have a conversation here, but my time is almost up. Like, I know people are watching these videos on the back end, and that's really great. But the live aspect is something that I would love to experience. I did it, on the first day. I did a Instagram live along with this, and my first client and buddy called it and did it with me, and that was great. I really enjoyed that. Since then, I've talked to nobody, and it has nothing to do with feeling sorry for myself for not getting enough engagement. I just want to talk to somebody on the live. Like, is that ridiculous? Am I asking too much? Anyways, it's been a good day. I've enjoyed this bingo thing. Um, a little just a little personal story is today I was doing some research for my business. I was doing something that I've been putting off for at least a week, even though like I know it's super important. And it's not like it's going to immediately, provide dollars for my business because I would have done it immediately. But it's one of those things where for building my business and really like figuring out what I'm doing, the products and services I'm offering, this is homework that needs to be done. And I've been putting it off and shifting other things that also needed to get done in its place. Like that's something that I do, like another one of my habits I do to try to avoid procrastination is instead of like doing something fun to avoid doing the thing I need to do, I do another thing I need to do because there's always one thing that needs to get done the most, but there's something else like right behind it. And generally this thing that's right behind it is just so much easier for me to do. And then the next day, the thing that was supposed to be the most important thing the day before, I decided the other, it's like something else is going to be the priority. And then now that thing feels easier. And I just do it. And I don't guilt myself for it. I don't shame myself. I just because all this stuff gets done. What's the problem? Like, I'm not breaking a contract with myself. Like my contract was, hey, here's 3 things that I would like to get done today. You finish 2 and 3. Awesome. Tomorrow we'll finish 1. It'll be number 3, but it'll get finished more likely than if it was 1. So, mental games. But anyways, I was avoiding doing this thing because it seemed really overwhelming. It seemed like a lot of deep work, and I was like concerned about that. I was like, man, this is going to be so much work. I'm really nervous about this. And what happened was whenever I started doing it, like I just started today, I was like, today is going to be the day that I do this. I felt a little bit like a cartoon in the way in which I made my preparations to get into doing this thing. But once I finally got into it, I loved it. I was like, I don't know why I thought it was going to be this really unenjoyable work. It's focusing on something that's important to me to get my goals done. That excites me. So once again, this time I didn't do it on purpose. Like I was not actively saying like we're going to turn our hyper focus into our superpower. It was more like, oh god, I got to do this thing, just start. And I started and I was like, I noticed, 30, 45 minutes in, I was actually enjoying doing it. I was learning more about my dream client. It's like, why was I putting this off? I actually really enjoy learning more about my dream client. Maybe I should stop putting off things that I think are going to be hard. And I talked about this the other day. I like limiting myself into what I can or cannot do, what I do or do not like. Maybe just try. Just start it. Just try it and see how it goes. Give yourself a chance to fail. And whenever I did that, I did not fail. I actually got a shit ton of stuff done today and was all focused towards that thing. And I feel amazing about it. And I'm excited to work on it again tomorrow. So I encourage you to take the things that you've been putting off, give it a positive attitude and just go at it and then see what happens. Like don't pre-qualify yourself with failure. All right, that's it for the night. I'm still taking one more client. I picked up one more client yesterday. I'm taking one more free client. If you are interested in my free services, 4 weeks of mini sessions coaching, ADHD coaching with Coach Bruce. And like I don't know why if you are an ADHD man and I'm offering this, you wouldn't say, yeah, I'll try it because you have nothing to lose. Like if we have a first session and you think you think I'm full of crap, then you know you can pack your bags and go, and that's fine. And you can even share that on social media that you think I'm full of crap, but I know I'm not full of crap because I've lived it before. Like I am offering you lived experience and solutions that have worked for not just me but other people as well. Now, just take it. Like take the help. Stop trying to do it by yourself. It's just hard. It's very hard. So, um, yeah. Anyways, if you are interested in doing that, you can hit me up at Bruce at AuthenticIdentityManagement.com. You can hit me up on any of my social medias in the messages at Authentic Identity Management on Facebook or Instagram, or Authentic Bruce, YouTube and Twitch. And yeah, I think that's all of them. And you can also there's a in the comments on Facebook you can download my free resources and get to know who I am better and the system in which I coach by, which is it's actually super simple, but you're not doing it yet, so I've got some information to give you. Otherwise, you would not just listen to me; you would actually be doing the things and say, "Yeah, I've tried this too. It's great for me." But anyways, until next time, be yourself, love yourself, have a great night. Get ready for Christmas. Let's go.